Hello, everyone, and welcome to Thelma's podcast. So, today's Saturday. I hope you guys enjoyed the weekend. I'm about to be joined by a very special guest. His name is Dr. De Vifai. I don't know if it's his real name or perhaps just a name that he created for social media purpose. So, I spoke to him about 2 weeks ago. What I liked about his videos, it was actually upfront of how much doctors are making. So you see, I'm a teacher and we don't get paid that well. We like what we do. Oh, hi, George. We like what we do, but we don't necessarily like how much we get paid. I'm very sorry, my lovely. I know you want to join me, but I can't. I'm about to get a live guest coming. Okay, maybe next time. So talking about him, this doctor, he showed his payslip how much he was actually getting. I'm with Lucas. Which Lucas? I forgot. Anyway, I forgot. But listen, guys, I really can't because I've got a guest coming, all right? But I hope you're enjoying your Saturday. So he was showing his payslip of how much a trainee junior doctor are making, which is not a lot. Oh, Lucas, is it my favorite? Not sure. Anyway, I hope you guys have a lovely weekend, okay? All right. Anyway, I hope you guys are up to something good, creative, inspiring, maybe. Okay. So, as I was saying, so many students that I like a lot. Okay, so he was basically being upfront about how much he's getting. To be honest, I have to say it takes a lot of guts to publicly show that they should get more money. And the thing, as a teacher, we are getting rise. Last year we got a rise, this year as well. But still, for all the work that we do, I don't think it's enough. So I like the way he created. Sorry, bye, George. I like the way he created a social media presence about the situation that is facing the country. All right. So teachers and doctors are not getting paid that much. Something needs to change because the way this is happening, a lot of people will be leaving the profession very soon. Okay, so he said he'll be coming very shortly to discuss about this because what I like, he gained a lot of following about being upfront about this problem that we have in this country. And I like the way that he really, expose his own pay for the whole world to see. So I was wondering what you think needs to happen because, to be honest as well, we are in a very tricky situation where, with inflation and everything going up, it's quite hard, I think, for the government to keep up. The budget. Oh, lovely. So I am going to request for you to come. Lovely. Okay. Okay. Maybe, doctor, if you can request to join. Okay. Let's see if that works as well. I'm very excited. As you can see, I'm a little grin on my face. Come on, you to work. Instagram. Okay. Oh, hi.
Hey,
How are you?
hey, I'm good, thanks. Can you hear
I
me?
can hear
All good?
you very
Okay,
well. So
perfect, perfect.
you are called Dr. Devify.
Yeah, Devify, Dr. Devify.
Devify, sorry. As you can see, I've got French accent. All right. So I want to say, one of my friend was showing a video of you,
Okay.
showing a payslip, and you basically was showing exactly what was going on. So can you explain a bit more on that? Because this is a problem that us teachers have as well. So please explain, how did you come about this idea of exposing the problem that we're actually facing right now with the payments.
I think with the way the situation is right now and the strikes going on, a lot of people argue with it, saying, well, the £14 an hour claim isn't true, like you're earning a lot more. So then when I qualified as a doctor about 2 months ago,
Hello? Hello? Sorry. Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Invite. I'm sorry about this, guys. I'm very sorry. Hello. I don't know how you got kicked. I'm so sorry about this. Doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. I didn't kick you out.
hey, yeah, sorry, for some reason I got kicked out. Yeah, so what I was saying was, with the situation the way it is right now, people keep arguing that it's not true, and so I thought, why not share my payslip? And I did, and people could see loud and clear there it was, £14 per hour. And obviously, people do also need to understand that I am a newly qualified doctor, but either way, for someone who's done 6 years of med school, £14 an hour is a very low rate, right? It doesn't matter what rank of doctor you are, no doctor should be at that rate. It's now gone up to £15.5 per hour for my rank, after the strikes, but still, I was making more doing part-time jobs, like working in the bar in university, so it's not great.
It's not great. We as a teacher I feel exactly the same way. Do you think it's the inflation, or do you think it's always been a problem?
It was always a problem since 2008. It's been like the
Again, what is going on here? Hello. So sorry, Veronica. I'm trying to get my guests. What is this? Oh, this is going to be interesting. Okay. Does that work? Hello?
hey, I don't know why it keeps kicking me out. It might be the internet. I've joined on 5G now, so hopefully that's a bit better.
Yeah. So it's been ongoing since 2008, you were saying?
Yeah, so the pay rises we were getting were about 0% to 3%. Most of the years it was 0%. In the more recent years it was 2%, 3%, these kind of things, and inflation's been a lot higher. So it has been a downwards trend, and doctors were like, we're not going to argue for our pay. We're here to mostly help people, right? And so we didn't say anything, but it got to the stage where cumulatively we've lost a lot more, right? And so now that's when we're sort of fighting and standing up for ourselves. And you can see, 98% of junior doctors, 98% voted yes to strike out of the
Yeah.
ballot, right?
I
So
mean, teachers. Yeah,
it's a
we
big
also
number.
striked, but the thing is, I have to be honest. Hello, goodness me, this is not gonna work, is it? Ah, first time I got this happening on my live. This is really bad. I need to find a way. Maybe if you go live, then I join. Hello, this is bad. This is really bad. I don't know what.
It is quite bad. It is quite bad. I don't know why. What I'll do is, if it disconnects one more time, I'll go downstairs closer to the router and hopefully it'll be a bit better. But let's
I'm
try
so
one
sorry
last
about
time.
this because I'm so excited to speak to you, and I still am, by the way. But when did you
It keeps
start?
getting
So
cut off.
you found this issue, obviously. So when did you start doing your social media account? Because you have a lovely lot of following, and people really supporting you as well. So when did you start with this idea?
I started about the main sort of medical student stuff, university life, all that kind of stuff started about 4 years ago, in 2020 during COVID. That was when I sort of began the channel on YouTube. Accumulated about 5,000
Well
subscribers
done.
now, um, and it was going well. But thank you. And things were growing slowly but surely, steady increase. But I'd say about a month ago, I was invited to YouTube Health. I went to Google headquarters and I was inspired about making short form content. So I was like, okay, let's make some short form content. That's when I took to TikTok and Instagram and uploaded a video about the payslip because I already made a payslip video on YouTube. It got about 2,000 views, which is still decent, but compared to what it got on on
Wow.
TikTok, which was
Well
1.1
done.
million, and it got that in two
Wow.
days, yeah,
Well, like it is
which
because
which
the
was
thing what
crazy.
what I think personally that got you so popular, you were the one to basically say, look, this is the reality, and there's so many people that can relate to that. And I'm sure all the doctors around the country, around the UK, were like, you know what? It's time for change. This is actually happening. How are you expect us to live on this pay? Me as well. We are beginning of the month.
Mm,
I'm already broke, and I'm waiting for my next pay. Like in few weeks. So something has to change. And apparently, we were told as
yeah.
teachers, the increase is not going to take effect until I think this month payment or next month payment. So I'm like, we agreed for the rise, like whatever you giving us, and now you're making us wait for that money. I mean, is it a government issue? What is the issue? Because that's what I want to know.
Yeah, I guess it just takes time to get all the processes in place, get the money accumulated and all that. And yeah, it took them a couple months as well to get our things out. I think for the nurses it took us the same 2 months, something like that. So the pay rise that was discussed in July, I think the offer came out in July sometime. We received it at the end of September. So it did take a couple months for us as well. But that pay increase, we as a union, they declined it, but it was kind of pushed onto us, which we'll obviously accept. It helps in the
Yeah,
meantime while,
it does. It
you know,
does.
so
Yeah, I
not
mean,
not going to
it
argue
does. I
against
mean, the
that.
thing is, the country, they need doctors and they need teachers. Without us, they are screwed. It's as simple as that. So why do you think important job like we are basically the lowest paid? Why is that?
I think it's just the way the public sector is, right? And I, I
Yeah,
don't know
sorry.
an
I'm
answer for
asking
that.
you for your answers, but
I guess
obviously
it's,
you don't
yeah,
know.
it's more of a politician kind of question. Yeah, as in I don't know. I don't understand it myself because obviously teachers they bring up everyone, right? They teach and they get students to where they
Yeah.
are, and they're a huge component of their life. And if teachers weren't there, then you wouldn't be able to get anywhere, right? So it doesn't make
And
sense
the
to me.
thing as well, like
But
you as a
yeah.
doctor, you put yourself on the line, for people. Like the COVID happened, and obviously other things, like you put literally your life on the line for us. You should get paid more than that. It's mad. It's sad.
Yeah, yeah, I think the majority of the public, even now, are very supportive. The the studies have come out, and it's yeah, the majority of the public is in support. There are, of course, a few that don't. You'll see on the comments as well. I'd say 90% of people are very supportive. You will have those comments which are not very supportive, and I like to bring them to limelight just because it makes more sense to publicly respond to them, right? But there are many, many, many comments, much more, that are very supportive of the strikes, and that's of all public health, public sector strikes. So
Yeah.
that's teachers,
Yeah.
nurses,
So,
doctors.
and the thing as well, do you think the payment will put you off to say, no, what? I'm better off stocking up shelves or whatever. Do you think the payment one day will drive you out of your job, drive you out of your passion?
For me personally, not necessarily, just because, I knew that the situation was bad. I'm still here, and I do want to be a doctor, right? If I wanted to quit med school, I would have done that in year one. I'm sure my skills could be used elsewhere. Um, but I do want to be a doctor, and I think in the long run, the salary, when you become a consultant in what, up to 10, up to maybe, yeah, 10 years from where I am now, you'll probably be a consultant if things go well and you get through. But then it becomes it's a decent salary compared to
Yeah.
the UK average for sure.
Yeah.
Much more than the public. But it's a while to get there. But currently in the junior doctor pace, it's not for, like, for example, just a couple of days ago, I saw a video of another F1 doctor who talked about the things he was doing. And one night shift, he had to declare, I think, 3 people dead. He had to perform CPR on a patient who passed away. And then that was just like one night shift, right? And he was being paid probably about 19 an hour. So that's the extra £5 is your nightly allowance, 37% of your hourly. And that kind of stuff obviously happens during the day too, and he would have been at the
Yeah.
time on 14. So it's
Do you have to do
yeah,
that as
it's
well?
not.
Do you do night shift, or because you're a junior doctor, you don't have to do that yet?
I'd say like
Okay.
most junior doctors do night shifts. It's enforced upon them in their contracts. Yeah, most specialties will have night shifts. There are a few that don't. So I'm in psychiatry right now, so I'm on a 9 to 5 Monday to Friday contract, but that lasts for 4 months,
Okay.
not for the whole year. And so in December, I'll move on to another specialty that will have nights, weekends, on calls, where I'll be working an average of 48 hours a week. Um, and that's an average. So what the what they do is it's an average over the 4 month rotation. So one week you might be working 80-hour weeks, and then the next you might be doing 20. So as long as over the 4 months it averages out to 40-hour
Okay.
weeks, then it's okay
I get
usually.
that. So, how long does it take for you to be
Yeah.
a fully qualified doctor? Like no more junior, but when are you gonna be fully qualified?
Um, so the term fully qualified is it's a bit of a misleading term. So by becoming a doctor,
Okay.
you are fully qualified as a doctor, but you're not
Okay.
a specialist. So in terms of a specialist, it depends. This is where
Yeah.
I would redirect you guys to my
Okay.
recent videos where I've been actually explaining exactly this. So let's take one I made yesterday or today, I don't know,
Yeah.
cardiology. So to become a cardiologist from the beginning of since school, once you finish school, it will be about 15 years to become
15
a
years.
cardiologist, inclu yeah, including med school. So from my rank where I am right now, it will be another 9, 10 years if I want to be a cardiologist. And that's without any breaks, making sure you pass every exam and, competition sometimes is 5 to 1. So making sure you get through that and you're the best of the best. Yeah. A lot of people have to do PhDs just to stand out.
I don't know what to say because for teacher perspective, we do a PGCE and then you need to do an ECT, which is 2 years. So overall, it takes 3 years. I mean, like you said, once you finish your PGCE, you are a qualified teacher, but then you are still on training to be a fully teacher. So for us, overall, it takes 3 years. Why do you think it takes that long to be a doctor? I mean, fully. What does it take that long? The studies, why?
Uh, because there is so much knowledge that is required to be a doctor, and you will never know it all. And that is just the way things are, and that's why a lot of medics do it because it's a field where you're always learning. You're never fully satisfied with
Yeah.
the with your knowledge right now, and that's one of the things I love about it too. But yeah, it's literally because there's so much knowledge, and you need that experience to get there. Um, I don't. I'm not against how long it takes to get there at all. There are a few inefficiencies, like for example, right after you finish med school, you do 2 years of rotations in general specialties,
Yeah.
whereas something like in the US, you would as soon as you finish med school, you pick your residency, you go straight
Okay.
into it. So we have those 2 years where we don't do that. So one could argue that those 2 years are a waste of time. You could cut that out and make it a
Mhm.
bit shorter. That's yeah, it's a debate between medics if
Yeah.
that would be the case. But then on the other hand, it gives you a bit more exposure to different specialties, more than that in
So
med school. So
when you were in
yeah,
school, did you always dream of becoming a doctor? Was it always something that you wanted to do?
it wouldn't have been an always kind of thing, but it's been there since I was maybe like 13, 15, around that age. I think that's when I decided, yeah, I do want to help people and
Oh, that's
tackle
amazing.
that medicine field. But I know some people have it since they were young, they experience some trauma, something like that. Unfortunately, I didn't have that. It was more that I
Okay.
just wanted to be a medic.
And when you started to you know, study and everything, did that meet your expectation? Feel like, oh, this is exactly where I want to be. This is exactly what I want to do. Is that how you felt when you were studying it?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I enjoy it. Yeah, 100% I enjoy it. Like even when you're learning some concepts or how a condition works and you want to manage it, that like eureka moment when you get like, oh, that's what it is, and like that's how you manage it. It's that like the small little things like that, and you're like, yeah, actually, I do want to be a
Yeah.
medic. So
So in
yeah,
secondary
100%.
school, what subject do you need to really, let's say, be very good at in order to be a doctor? What are the main subject that will definitely guarantee, okay, if
Yeah,
you want to go into
yeah.
that route, this is the subject that you need.
So I'm not sure if it's changed now, but to my knowledge, it's an A level in biology and chemistry, and then your third A level can be whatever. A lot of people choose maths, but it doesn't matter what it is really. Just pick something you can get a high grade in. And then med school wise, it varies, but usually I would say three A's to A star, A star A. That's your range of requirements for med school. There are some contextual offers, which is if you're from a background that's not sure how to explain the contextualized offer, but it's essentially a lower offer due to your
So,
socio-economic
you know,
circumstances,
yeah,
which
so
might
you have to
be
be
A, A,
like
B.
A and B's. You can't have like C's. You have to really,
Not, no, not even B's.
wow.
It's three A's minimum. It's only that contextual offer that drops below, and most med schools would be A
Wow,
star
so
A, I
really,
think.
if you want to
Yeah,
go into this, you really have to have the commitment, the passion, and study. You know, so that I'm sure that's what you did when you were at
yeah,
uni. When you did your A levels, you were studying it, you were breathing, eating it. You were like that. That it's true because as a doctor, you have to be focused. You have to know what you're doing because we
yeah,
talk
yeah,
about dealing with lives, not dealing with things.
yeah, yeah. That's the thing, and it's a lot of hard work, and you don't just start it during med school. You start doing it way before even before you like when you're doing your GCSEs, you have to start your work experience of volunteering, showing that you're helpful, going to care homes. For me, I work with autistic children as well. So you have to start doing these things before, more than your regular student would. And so the prep really begins even before A
Okay,
levels.
so
Yeah.
yeah,
So
so if you're in secondary school, like I'm teaching now, you need to like ask for to doing volunteering work in the hospitals, in care centers, and all of that. So this is exactly what you need to do, and then you can get recommendations.
yeah, yeah. You have to show the med schools that you are committed to providing care, just in some healthcare
Okay.
environment. So it doesn't matter like where it is, doesn't have to be a hospital. You can work with the elderly in a care home. You could, as I said, work with autistic children, work with children in general, like anything in a
Yeah,
caring
but from
environment,
what
really.
when I'm talking to you, look like you really care about your job. You really are somebody that has screwed on. You knew what you wanted to do. You gone out there and get it. And to have A's, I mean, I'm not A-level expert, but you must have studied really, really hard. Any tips on study skills they can give a lot of students that need
Oh,
that?
I, you're putting me on the spot here. Um, to be honest, I think there's plenty of different ways to study that works, and like there's been a lot more recent things coming out. Like you got the active recall, which would be consistently exposing yourself to some materials. So it's like you have the curve where you learn something and it starts to decrease in knowledge, and then you refresh it, and it kind of keeps that thing. You got that learning from questions rather than just copy pasting notes. So what I do nowadays or in med school was during the latter years, I didn't make notes. What I did was I did questions and learned from those questions because then you're actively testing yourself. And in terms of going to A levels and GCSEs, learn from past papers because
Yeah,
it's all about the mark scheme, right? If you can get what the mark scheme wants, then you're going to score higher. And sometimes it used to be that specific words.
yeah.
I don't know if it's the
It's
same now, it probably is. So yeah, I'd say learn from past papers as well. That's a big thing. Don't
Yeah,
just copy
that's
paste
right.
notes.
So, also, finally, I wanted to ask you something. If, let's say, being a doctor, you don't really like it as much anymore, but your social media presence, people are gonna offer you some position to say, "Oh, would you like to do this and that?" In social media, was like YouTuber or anything like that. Would you jump to the chance, or would you be like, you know what? I'm just gonna carry on what I'm doing, being a doctor, and also carry on my social media presence.
Yeah, so like it really depends on the like I'm just gonna give an example. So sometimes you can get offers in which you make more from a 30-second video than you will from 1 day working as a doctor in my rank, or even higher. And there's a lot of people on YouTube you'll find that actually earned way more from YouTube than they do on or in social media than
Yeah.
from their doctor job, which is crazy. But that is the way it is. In terms of whether I want to do that, no, I wouldn't want to go full time as a social media creator. It's more part time for me, just kind of in my spare time. Like
Yeah.
right now, I kind of don't have a life. You know, I come back from work and it's just spent researching,
Yeah.
editing, coming up with ideas, all this kind of stuff. But ideally, maybe spending like one time to educate people, perhaps, or do some kind of teaching across social media,
Oh,
something like that.
yeah.
Bit of mixture of
No,
both.
come
That'd be
on.
ideal.
Do teach kids because they are there. I've got a lot of students. They love watching digital creators like yourself. And I'm just trying, and they're like, but Miss, how do you do this? And I say it's a lot of work. You have to know what you want.
Yeah, I don't have a life. I don't have a life right now
It's a
since I come to
commitment.
this job. E yeah, yeah, even before this whole TikTok, Instagram blew off, like I was not getting too much reward in terms of the YouTube side of things, but I was at it every day, scripting, editing, researching, and YouTube videos take days to weeks to produce for me. Then because I tend to be kind of perfectionist, like I always want to make sure everything's right, there's no errors, this. You keep doing it again and again. Um, Instagram, TikTok, you can bang out quite a few
Yeah,
more
it
videos, I
works. It
think,
works for you.
than
I
one
mean,
YouTube video.
for me personally, I like to see what you do. I love it. I feel like it's so relatable. You're not just, oh,
Thanks.
this is my life. This it's actually I'm speaking to other people that share the same experience. I really like that. So please keep that going. And I'm gonna finish on one question I always ask. If you had one piece of advice to give to young people today to who want to follow your footsteps, what would that one advice be?
Oh, that's another question. You're putting me on the spot. If anyone's watching, there was no warning for this question.
No,
There's no warning for
done
any of these
well.
questions. Okay. Okay. One advice. I would say fully before you commit to any kind of job or uni degree, I'd say do your due diligence and your research. And that would be in terms of what life is going to be like. So speak to people who are doing that job, explore what companies you can work in. I know it's way into the future, but it's good to get an idea. Explore the monetary aspect of course as well, because that plays a part, and just research everything about what you can do with that degree. Does it limit you in your options? Are you able to do more stuff? But also look at what you enjoy and you're passionate about. You've got to find that right
Wow,
balance
what a
between all
good,
of those things, I'd
lovely
say.
advice. And I put you on the spot, and that's amazing. I want to say thank you so much. I can't wait to see whatever else you do. I mean, you've gained a fan, and I'm sure, as you can see, so many people join because you're amazing at what you do. So keep up the great work, okay? And thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
That's all right. I
A
really
pleasure. Have a
appreciate that.
lovely day,
Yeah,
yeah?
thank you.
Have a lovely weekend. Bye bye.
You too.